queen of everything, sorry, that's what Frank says, queen of everything.
I'm just laughing because I hear the same thing, I just hear the same thing in my house, and I just laugh and walk in the other room.
Princess. Just put a badge on it, said queen of everything. It's funny too, because her personality isn't really like that, she's not bossy or anything. I think she was bossed so much by her older sister that she was like, "Oh, one day I'm gonna be the boss."
Tells them she can't stay at this one spot, and they sit there and
Funny,
go.
kids are funny.
Just such a pointless, ridiculous. So I mean, I think. if
Okay, it's 5:30, everyone, we're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hereby announce that this meeting is being held in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meeting Act. Proper notice of meeting dates has been given to the Morris News-Beat and the Morris County Daily Record and posted on the bulletin board in Borough Hall. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mrs. Doherty?
Present.
Mr. Drusler?
Present.
Mr. Lombardi?
Present.
Mr. McAleer?
Present.
And Mrs. Becker?
Present.
And I will say that Mr. Judy Forrester and Mr. Cortese, the council liaison, is present.
Are there any comments regarding the minutes from the October 6th meeting? If there's no comments, can I please have a motion to
Accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's voice vote, well, all in favor. Oh, you abstain, that's what you just said.
I open the comments from the public section of this meeting. Seeing as there is none, I close this section of the meeting. The budget, if you look at the budget, the line item for the fall planting is included, so that is what our current balance is on the total line. The spring trees now have been purchased ordered, so that will be coming out, so it's no longer a placeholder. We don't have any communications. Moving forward to the forester's report. Okay.
Thank you. All right, starting with 2580, 12 Whitehawk Way. The tree should just be pruned, there's no reason to take it down. I think the resident was questioning it was dead, it's not dead, it's far from dead, put it that way.
Correct.
So yeah, I think we should just go ahead and have that pruned. Thank you.
Okay, so what's the size?
24 to 36.
And the stump also, sir?
That's a prune.
Okay.
2581, 4 Thompson Way. He has one dead spruce tree in the back that should come down. I spoke to the homeowner, very, very reasonable. But he asked if we could remove that. So it's a 112 to 24 inch takedown and 112 to 24 inch stump.
Sure, I just want to add a little bit to this. I know obviously in the memo, there was some discussion in here. So this kind of started, the resident did call into the zoning official of the town. So there is an easement back there. There's a conservation easement. So in speaking with him and a couple other members in the zoning office there, the conservation easement does fall under the jurisdiction of the shade tree.
Can I just ask Dave, I couldn't find which tree it was, because there's a lot of trees there, so why are we doing the stump if is it?
It's right on the edge of his property. Did you go up there and look, or?
I walked up the hill.
Because you walk up the hill where you got the camper parked,
Yeah,
it's right behind the camper.
okay,
I mean, because I felt because it's right on the edge of his lawn, the stump.
okay.
I mean, it's up to you guys if you wanna leave it.
So it's on our land, but it's on the edge of his lawn.
Yeah, if it was buried in the woods, I wouldn't even suggest a grinder, but it is right at the edge of the lawn, so again, it's up to.
What do people think? Just because we don't usually do stumps if they're not on the street.
Correct. My thought is based on the location because it is kind of, so that property kind of triangulates at the back, so that is, you know, part easement, part his, obviously. But because given the proximity to the grass, I would say for this instance, that we make an exception for the stump.
2582, 130 Glenbrook Road. There's an old existing stump there that I would suggest to remove because it is quite the eyesore. And that was 36 plus.
Is this the one that's on the, like, right next to the fence?
Yeah, there's like a fence that stops, and there's a trampoline the neighbors have.
So I just had a is that ours? Because I couldn't, it looked like it was far enough in. It is ours?
It is because the way, with the angle.
And wasn't there a gentleman who lived near there that came in about a year and a half ago and complained? And didn't the developer take this tree down? We didn't take this tree down, if I remember.
I don't
correctly.
believe we took it down. I
Because
know there was talk about planting trees there, wasn't there?
Residents were upset when this tree came down, and I thought we said, well, it's not our tree, so we can't do anything about it, and they didn't have to ask us for a permit.
Okay.
So that's why I'm just trying to figure out what the history is with this.
'Cause, yeah, I mean, the stump's been there, you can see
It's been there since
a
they,
while.
Who was the homeowner?
It's right on the corner, whatever the.
So I don't know if it's a new house or if it's the other house on the corner of
It's
Glenbrook,
on the,
because it's
it's
right
right
on
on the border there.
yeah, it's right on
Maybe
that fence,
portion
the
of
fence
it.
like comes and stops right there.
right.
So
I remember that someone came in and complained about those trees coming down. I'm pretty sure.
Was it Harron?
yes,
Harron?
he came in and,
Aaron doesn't live there.
no, he was around the
No,
corner.
he was
He
on-
came in and complained about,
Complained about
because I guess he saw
Yeah.
the plans, and then
it. He was upset.
wasn't there an issue we had with them planting trees, or replacing trees, I thought, that the builder or homeowner put them in?
Yeah, there was an issue on that, they didn't have big enough,
Okay, 'cause
and they had to put bigger trees.
so, I guess to Rob's point here, I guess, we don't know if it's really our stump or if it's the homeowner's stump.
Was this a resident request, or Frank, you just saw it and you thought it was?
This is the thing, was when I got to 130, we were gonna plant a tree at 130, and she didn't want a tree, and then the stump sort of is just sticking up there, so that's why I called it, and it looks ugly.
It does look ugly, I don't disagree, it's a bit of an eyesore there.
And it seemed to me that it was because of the hill that it was on, so.
Well, I just think it's unfortunate if the developer took it down and then now we're paying for it, that's all.
Yeah, I kind of agree that that probably should have been.
But you can't go back in time, I guess, so
Should've
we gotta
been
make a
something
decision about what to do
a
now.
year or 2 years ago, should have been addressed. 2583, 9 Winwood Road. There's a tulip tree at the left of the driveway. Dropped a bunch of dead limbs, but there's a lot of decay on the roots. I would suggest you remove it. It's a 24 to 36 inch removal, and the stump is the same size. $25.84 One Totten Way. Looks like DPW cleaned up a part of the tree that fell. I believe it's the county's tree, the way it sits on the corner there. It's closer to 202. I don't know if anybody else had a chance to look at it.
Correct. I checked the tax maps with the zoning official. It is a county tree.
Okay,
And I'll call the county then tomorrow,
oh, good.
okay? And they'll take care of it.
The tree was covered in lantern flies when I went and looked. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. I don't know, I wasn't covered, but it had a good amount of lantern flies there. Can that damage it if it happened because of that? I didn't think so, but they were all right where.
They wouldn't have caused that
Big of a.
right now. They wouldn't, I mean, if there's a ton of it, they would slowly stress the tree out, but they wouldn't have caused that. That was basically a weak crotch. You know,
Right,
it's a soft,
right.
it's a maple, but it's a red maple, so with the way it just grew, the joint,
Right, you could see that
it just failed at the weakest point there, unfortunately.
It just made me wonder if we should talk to residents or check for lantern fly at some point. That, we got over the hump of that, but if that damage wasn't caused by it, then.
There was, I mean, that street, I took a ride up, there's, I don't know if we can talk to DPW, or, I don't know if they can do it, there's quite a bit of pruning on that street that should be done. I don't know if that's, they're big, if DPW, I think it's borderline, to be honest, maybe we could ask John.
Yeah, once the leaves are done, we're gonna, have a conversation with
Okay.
them about it, if there's anything else.
'Cause I don't think-
things like that.
I don't recall touching much on that street
No,
at
we
all.
haven't really done much
If I-
there at all.
yeah, it's kind of a forgotten street, to be honest. And then we just got the memo in 2585, 9 Greenwood Road. So there's 2 big pin oaks in the property that should be pruned out. There's a lot of dead wood in them. One's a 24 to 36 inch, the other's a 36 plus.
How much is it?
The 24 to 36 is 600, and it's 700 for a 36 plus.
So it's 1,300?
Yes. And that was up to date on the memos.
So the new memo total then, if we add in the request that just came in prior to the meeting from 9 Greenwood, would take it to 4450. Also on the list is a carryover from the worksheet. The homeowner was actually in at the past meeting that we had on October 6th regarding 32 Headley Way with a large dead 36 plus tree with a big chunk of the dead wood hanging into the wires. We did speak with JCP&L. Those branches will be removed within the next 2 weeks. We've got an updated timeline there. So that would be a 36 plus removal plus stump grind. So 1030 for the 36 plus removal and 550 for the stump, with a total of 1580. With an updated total with the 2585 would take us to today of 630 for a total balance.
6,030.
Correct.
A balance of 6,030.
That would be what the work will cost today.
Oh, so I just, everything is in.
No, not 85.
Right, so that's 13.
Yeah, I agree,
So
right?
What?
6,000.
Yeah, I had the same total.
I just did.
I wonder if, I would ask that maybe we just put the stump on, I guess it's Glenbrook, but it's actually on Central on the worksheet. I'd just like to find out from the homeowner, you know, what's going on there, because it doesn't sit right with me that they cut this tree down, which as far as I know was a live, huge, you know,
Big, yeah.
big tree, and now they want.
I don't think it was, it looked like a very sick tree to me. when it-
Okay, I just remember the resident coming in and he said there were 2 trees there that had been cut and he was upset, but.
Yeah, but that's Mr. Harron who lives on the Glenbrook extension.
Yeah, sure, that's
There was
fine.
a controversy, I will say, about that new house.
Right,
And nobody wanted, but the trees, well, God, you can go talk.
well, I'd just like to research and see if they were given a variance or something to do that, or is there a site plan, or, you know, what, before we just go ahead and spend the money. I don't think there's any emergency, it's sat there for 2 years, I think we should
Yeah,
just
go
check it
ahead,
to do
check
our,
it out.
Yep,
do our due diligence on it, and then we can make a decision. It's not a danger to anyone.
No, it's been sitting there for, you said, 2 years, year and a half.
I would argue, you know, the other stump I didn't see, so if you say it's there, Mike, I'll trust your judgment. But
so
I
you
think we
wanna
should
back
pull-
out the
I-
385?
Yeah, I think we should.
The five, it's
That's a 5,
Okay.
I think that's
I
550
think we should.
on that one. Yeah, that was 550 for that.
So I'm just gonna put it on the worksheet, or is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, let's put it, if you would, Karen, that would be great, if you put it on the worksheet, and then we'll know, you know, and I'll see what I can find out about it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have to talk to you or look at the minutes or something,
Right,
just
we have
to
to
figure
look
out
at the minutes,
what's
yeah.
going on, or if
Okay.
there's a zoning board of adjustment, you know, I don't know if they were involved or whatever, so.
So is that 5480?
5480 would be the new total for the work today.
I have a question, what
Well,
do we do with Oakwood Court?
I'm sorry, Karen?
They're minusing out that 500 for the stump.
We just took the 60/30 less 550, because that's on hold, that comes to the new balance of
Oh, I'm doing
5,480.
I'm sorry, I'm only doing the stump removal.
Yeah, it would be, putting, memo 2582 onto to the worksheet for further, investigation.
Okay.
So we're 5480, am I correct?
5480. Can I have a motion to approve the
Wait, I have
54?
a question. What about Oakwood Court? We took care of it. Are you taking the trees or pruning those trees, or did I miss something?
Which one?
Oh, on the worksheet,
Yeah.
those are actually speaking of lanternfly, those were the trees that were infected with the lanternfly. I know we have on the worksheet too, there's actually 3 trees there, he has in the cul-de-sac. That's,
There's 3, okay.
yeah, there's actually 3 of them.
I thought that had to go and get sprayed first.
Well, we did, we treated for the lanternfly, but the trees are now dead. So the problem is we're gonna have to remove the trees at some point, sooner than later. But like I said, there are 3 of them in that cul-de-sac.
We'll review those and, put forward for, December.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I think we ought to, if you remember here, the resident sent us a letter saying he requested it the year before, and he didn't feel we did anything. We looked at it and we took care of the lanternflies. I think we ought to address it, but if you want to wait till December, you can. I think you should address it, so.
I support waiting till December, given that's the end of the year, and unless it's a danger, is it a danger, Dave?
Not at the moment, I think we have a couple months.
And maybe, when did you spray them?
2 months ago.
Okay, so they should be well and
They're,
truly,
yeah, they're well taken care
Done.
of, they're done, so.
okay.
Are the lanternflies, I mean, are they still in there? The eggs or whatever,
No,
How's it?
the adults will lay eggs on the trunk, but they're still actively feeding, so they haven't laid all their eggs yet for the season. So what happens, once it kills the tree, they move on.
So the spray is more to, in theory, kill out the tree, not the actual bug, or both?
Well, it ends up killing both, but
Okay.
what happens is this particular grant was to kill the trees.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Whereas you can topically spray to control the lanternfly, but it will not kill the tree.
Okay. Great.
That actually brings up a question, is this grant expiring at the end of this year? Wasn't there some discussion of the grant expiring, the lanternfly grant?
My knowledge was is that I think it's on a yearly basis. Okay, meaning like I think that was on last year also. And I think that you have to apply for it or what have you.
I just wonder if we should be looking for other tree of heaven in order to, I mean, if this isn't, because this isn't part of our normal budget, right? This is a
No, it's not.
special grant, so I think we should proactively look to see if we can use that and then maybe address.
I mean, it's good because, like you said, it'll kill the thing, the only problem.
We have to pay the removal cost.
Yeah, so it's a double,
Right.
it's sort of unfortunately. We have that expense then to incur about taking these trees down.
Some of these
I
was,
will- yep.
I'm sorry, Marion, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, some of these ones at the cul-de-sac were small, I don't know if DPW, if we could find smaller ones that we could spray and DPW could remove.
Yeah, I think there's some in the parks that DPW could
Yeah.
definitely remove that are, I would say 3-4 inch.
Right.
Caliper that could
Right.
easily be taken care of.
And to,
And I could definitely get together, again, after leaf season, get together with John and,
I think it would make sense if DPW has the capacity to do that. But they wouldn't have to cut them right away, because we'd spray them and the grant would be used, and then they could cut them when they had time in their schedule.
correct, yeah, so, I mean, really they could use all winter, to be honest,
Right.
and cut them all.
What do other people think about this?
Yeah, so, I'm on the grant committee, right, so I will take a look at the existing grant and see what the details are on it, and see if it
Yep.
has an expiration date or not, and I'll get some of the details, and then, I'll report back for next month, and then we can see what we need to do.
Because I'm almost positive, but that it's only for spraying, it's not for removing the
Okay.
trees, but if you could double check in there.
I will double check.
Do you think you could email us before the meeting, because we'll have to, if we only have one more meeting this year, right? So Or are we just going to decide that we're gonna spend as much as we can? Would that be the decision? I'm just trying to think about how the process would work, Marianne.
I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at the grant, but I'll go back to Karen and Karen will send something out to everybody. I'll see what I can do depending on what it says and then if I can make good headway.
Anna can tell you, our treasurer can tell you, she's managed
Yeah.
the grant.
And I really know that it was just, we couldn't take these trees down.
I believe that that's what it was
And
for.
it's just for spraying.
I believe it.
Definitely is just for spraying.
It is,
I'm
it's
pretty sure
definitely
that's
for spraying, because that's, I mean, this was last year and then into this year.
But I still would just like if we could check into that grant to see
Yes.
if there's something else that we could kinda, get as well to kinda cover some of the takedowns, so
Yep.
we're not, if we're getting money to spray, why can't we try to figure out a way to get some money to
There might
help?
be a way to piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
possibility.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mike, you had given me an update, but I just wanted to have it on the record for the 32 Headley, I mean, not 32, 87 Sylvan.
Sure, so, just an update on 87, Sylvan Drive. So this was a tree that had some electrical wires that kind of rub up against it, caused two little small fires that were kind of just, what was the word that you used, kind of like more appearance fires.
It's more of an aesthetic issue than it was detrimental to the health of the tree.
So two kind of buffers were put onto the trees, which look like kind of, in theory, like I said last month, kind of giant pool noodles in a way to kind of block the wires from rubbing on the tree. Those do, in speaking with JCP&L, those do need to kind of stay on the tree for a while just to kind of test the integrity of the of their kind of plan to safeguard the tree. We also did put in a request for JCP&L to take a look at that pole that connects those wires through there, because that pole is kind of leaned a little bit, so maybe if they could do some adjustment to the pole, so it kind of alleviate the problem.
Thanks.
So I do ask for a motion to move the work in the amount of $54.80.
Amount of what?
So moved.
All right, so who moved it, purchase order?
5480.
Okay. Second, can I have a second?
5480?
Second.
That's what I have. It's 5480 is the total, is that right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. I backed out the 385, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Okay.
motion granted.
So, while it's not on the agenda, one of the things for old business that Karen just brought to my attention, do you have that little sticky note? So this was on the worksheet, from memo 2569 regarding, 7 Juniper Drive. There's two large oak trees, in front of the residence, one directly in front, one on the side street there. They called back in again this week, Karen just let me know regarding the fact that these obviously are town trees, but they are willing to pay for the removal of these trees. I personally am kind of torn on this, just because the trees are very healthy, but this is a request from the homeowner, so open to discussion from the committee.
This is the one she sent us pictures to.
Correct.
Dave, have you looked at these trees?
I have looked at them.
What's your opinion?
I don't feel they should be cut at all. I mean, they're in very good shape. I mean, one is, I think, is tremendous shape. The other one might have a little bit of bacterial leaf storage in it, but, I mean, that could take 10 years to kill a tree. But yeah, I don't see a reason why they have to come out. I don't know why she wants them out, to be honest. She's stated why she wants these trees out.
Good question.
Yeah, it says,
I mean,
do you want me to read what she wrote?
Please.
The homeowner wrote in an email, "We have 2 trees on our property, 7 Juniper Drive, that are owned by the town, and we are requesting the removal. These trees have grown dangerously tall and appear to have some kind of fungus. There is clear evidence of insect damage that is killing the tree. Additionally, we are constantly having to collect large fallen branches and place them in the street for pickup. This poses a significant risk to our property. I've attached photos for your reference showing the current condition. Could you kindly let me know what the town plans, when the town plans to remove them?" It was 2 oak trees.
Yep.
And I think we had, one was okay, one had oak fungus.
Bacterial
Does that-
research,
I wrote oak fungus.
okay.
So,
Yeah, so you see that, to be honest, you see that in a lot of oak trees from time to time. It's those little like bluish green patches that are on the tree itself.
That's, I'm sorry, Mike, I don't mean to, that's actually lichen, those
Oh.
patches.
Oh.
No, just so you're clear,
Mhm.
that's actually aesthetics.
Ah.
So that's not,
That's
you know,
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm talking about, it's up in the leaf, and if you actually see a leaf, like half would be brown, half would be green, and there's a margin in there, and that's what's causing this, it's bacterial that's affecting the tree. It's very common with pin oaks, but again, they could live 10, 15 years with this disease. So it's nothing like, you know, causing an issue where the tree has to come down tomorrow. I say as far as the committee, we monitor it, but, you know, next spring we'll reevaluate. If we feel the tree is dead or dangerous, then we'll talk about it. But if you recall, I think last year, she wanted she wanted every tree down in front of her property. We ended up taking down one maple that was decayed and rotten for her, if I'm not mistaken.
We did.
So we did that, but at the time, I think she requested all the trees to be gone. So obviously she doesn't want any trees on the property. I mean, it's up to you to decide whether you want them to take care of it at their expense, but I don't think we should. I mean, my personal opinion that here we are planting trees left and right. You know, and to go ahead, whether it's out of our budget or her pocket, to take down a live, healthy tree. I hate to see it happen.
Okay. I'll take this as a follow-up. I'll speak with the homeowner and just kind of gauge how she feels on things like this. We'll we'll follow back up on this
Okay.
next month. Like I said, I'm very kind of in a gray area with this in theory, just because I don't want to remove healthy trees.
I'll be very blunt, those are specimen trees.
Correct.
If you take those trees down, I don't wanna ever hear anyone talk about canopy, because there's canopy there. There's 60 years of canopy.
No, I agree. That's why I just kind of want to keep an eye on them. In theory, that's just my personal view on it. I'll speak with the homeowner again and try to get them on the same page as this
She
commission.
just doesn't want them.
Correct, is my understanding.
I'm with, for the record, I'm with Frank. I mean, I think we're the shade tree commission. We don't cut down a tree because someone doesn't want trees on their property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's some kind of hazard and she has documentation of that and can give it to Dave and Dave can go check it out, then that's a different situation, but.
No, I agree, and I think if she really wants to push this issue, that she'd go get an independent, you know, contract, somebody come out, an arborist, and have her assess it, and then come back to us, to go from there.
Okay. I will speak with her and report back at the December meeting.
Did we ever, I mean, to me, just briefly, you know, we talked about an issue similar to this early in the year, and I said that, you know, one of the things I think we as a commission should consider doing is to, you know, make people more aware of the benefits of trees, because people only see them as hazards. I think this is a prime example of that. Someone's not seeing what the benefit is, and like I said at the time, we're not gonna change everybody's mind, but maybe if we could make people, because people look at large trees and they just think, oh, it's windy, it's gonna fall on my house. What if that hurt me or my grandchildren or whatever it is, and that's the only side of the equation they see, and they don't see that, you know, the odds of that happening, if the tree is deemed healthy, are extraordinarily low. And that if we did that, we'd have no trees at all in town. If we took it anytime anyone was slightly worried. So I think, I'll say it again, I think we need to do a better job of reaching out to the residents, and maybe in our new year, we could consider that. I know we were talked about writing an article for Plains Talk. I don't think there's time to do that anymore, but maybe we could try and consider that in one of our committees or as a whole.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'll speak with her. I'll give a report back for next month and kind of give her our take from our commission. Okay.
So I'll put down, we'll review them again in the spring.
You could just leave it kind of, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Moving forward to new business.
And I got 2 old business items, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I did go to the 100th Shade Tree Convention, and but there's two fantastic speakers.
Just move on. Thank
There's
you.
two fantastic speakers. One was from the Netherlands, and he, this is the thing today in trees, 330 and 300. That means if you go walk out your door from your residence or school or business, you should see 3 mature trees. You should have in your community at least 30% canopy. And if you take a walk, you should come to some green space within 300 meters. That's a little, that's yards, is a little more than that. That is what the word is, what people talk about, and certainly I think we fit in that in Morris Plains. The other speaker was a professor from Clemson University, and he talked about native trees, and he says, well, when do you decide a native tree is native? Is it 100 years here, 200, 300? And he brought up the fact that now the talk is invasive species all the time. His feeling is that there should be biodiversity. And he was not, I didn't expect to hear this, I'll be honest with you, at that conference. That was his opinion. Speaking to different people and different towns, I have to say that I believe Morris Plains is doing pretty well. And I did learn a few things, and I was happy I went. So that's it. The other.
Sorry, Frank, just want to say, I was there as well, and I heard those two speakers. It's interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
we took away different things, but I won't, but not saying you're wrong, but we just took away different messages. But I think that they haven't updated the accreditation yet on the list, right? Is that correct? Because I tried to look, but the hours that I did, you were there on time, probably. I had kids, I had to put them to school, so I couldn't check in for the 8 a.m. 8 a.m. they wanted us to check in Atlantic City. It's like,
They told me it would be about 6 months.
oh, okay.
So don't be looking for them. Don't be looking for them.
Well, they had electronic check-in
I
and
know,
everything.
they
I
were
thought,
checking
boom, it's
all
gonna be
the
right
time.
up. Yeah,
Checking all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Even when you had lunch, for God's sake.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was so happy to see you there, Frank, I have to say that.
I didn't see you, I was looking for you.
I actually, you walked by me and I said hello, but I thought his head is so full of tree knowledge, he didn't even hear me.
That's probably true. The other thing that I want to bring up, and we have to address this, I think. Okay, we can address it with our council liaison. In August, actually in July, we passed a resolution to have our grant writer going through the council to write a grant for from the DEP for forest restoration. What happened when it got before the council? Mike Ivey had some questions. He asked Sal to take it off the agenda. He did. Mike met with our Mike here, and I thought everything was resolved. And so today I asked Steve Welch, the grant writer, how the grant's coming. And he said, well, the council never put it back on to authorize me to do it. So if you could get that back on, because that was in July, here we are in November.
There was, I don't know if there was a confusion at that time with, there was 2 grants, and that wasn't necessarily the one that you guys had
I
approved.
can't
if I'm
quite
not
hear you,
mistaken.
Sal, talking to the mic.
There was 2 grants that you guys had talked about, but the one that you guys approved was not the same one supposedly that was on the agenda, and that's where we had the misunderstanding. But I talked to Mike before the meeting, and we will put that back on.
So I just, Frank, we were so positive, and now you're gonna get me drummed up in disagreeing with you. So there was sort of some ridiculousness where I proposed something and then you proposed the same thing afterwards. Now, perhaps there was confusion there, you had the wrong name, I don't know, but the grant we voted on is to write a management plan. It's not for canopy reforestation. We have never voted on that. And that grant is a huge undertaking. and I believe it's for $260,000. We absolutely should have a discussion as a commission before this goes in front of the council. It's unconscionable to me that we would submit a proposal of that size without even discussing it openly here. So I'm hoping that you're just confused, because surely you wouldn't want me to vote on a $260,000 grant that I've never even seen the plan for. So I have to say that I think Mike Ivy, if that's what happened, he did the right thing, because that was the wrong grant.
So, I mean, I thought, Mike, you met with him and we had resolved it.
Correct.
Can I talk?
Yeah, sure.
Frank, the part that threw me off and why I pulled it out was that grant involved about $80,000 or $90,000 of landscape planning and engineering for the town. And the town would have to allocate that money that we didn't even talk about at the council level. So I got hit with like a double, with two bats. So I apologize if you think that I let you guys, I did not, I didn't know how to answer it because I wasn't prepared myself for that particular grant. And I didn't think that was the one that was on the plate. I think the wrong batter was on, batting out of order.
Okay,
if
bottom
I
line
can say
is,
that.
we
Let's move it.
we don't
We're gonna
have,
move it.
we don't have a grant application. I don't, it doesn't bother me which one.
Well,
If I used the wrong terms, then maybe I used the wrong terms. But we're not gonna do a grant, or are we gonna do a grant? That's the question.
So
That's what I posted Mike before the meeting.
So I don't recall the landscaping plan. Let me look at it again, and
I'll look at it.
and it will be sent out by Karen if this is what we need to do, and we could have a discussion in December.
And I'll look at it with you, Mike.
With all respect, the prerequisites are what's heavy, and unless that amount is allocated, the council can't, not fair for the council to vote on something that they don't know or allocate that money for. That's why we pulled it, Mike, and
Sure.
I'm
No,
sorry
no,
to
no.
hear about that, Frank.
No, completely understood. I will take a look at that again.
Just want to say from my perspective, pardon me, it seems like we're, to my mind, having applied for grants, I'm sure I'm not the only one. It seems like, I'm not against applying for this canopy grant, but it seems like we're putting the cart before the horse a little bit, because we lose a lot of points off the top of that grant for a point that you've often made, Marion, which is that we're not, I don't know if it's the correct term, a disadvantaged community or an urban community. So we lose a lot off the top. So that means that we have a very small margin of error there. We have to have everything exactly in a row in order to qualify for it. We're not accredited, and we don't have a management plan. And these are the kinds of things that any sort of evaluating committee is going to look for. So I'm not saying we shouldn't apply for it, but I think we should apply to do the management plan, because that will allow us to make an argument when we apply for the grant, which we still have, I believe, when does the deadline close? August or July of next year? We have a while,
I
right?
don't know if it was even that. I thought it didn't have, I
The
didn't see I didn't see
forestry,
the expiration date. I
the
didn't see expiration
forestry,
date.
yeah, the forestry grant.
It's not until 26, so we've got plenty of time. So why don't we do the work that, in order to set the grant up before, you know, I understand the trees are attractive and everyone wants to go straight for the trees, but you have to get the process in place so that we can make a good argument. That's my opinion. It doesn't make, it makes sense to me to do the preliminary work first and to do the grant that we applied for. I'm not against the other one. I'm happy to look at it, happy to do it. I don't see the rush.
Rush asked for this in August or July.
We did not ask for this in August.
In July we did it, because we didn't meet in August.
It is incorrect information. We never talked about that grant in this commission. That is a fact.
Okay.
Anyone can go and look at the tape.
I'm not gonna argue with you. What I'm gonna say is that, certainly when I spoke to a number of people from different commissions down at the convention, they didn't say you couldn't go, that you had to get certified and all this other stuff to get grants, and they got grants. So if we don't wanna get a grant, that's fine.
I'll have
I
the,
think that's a
I'll have
mistake.
the,
That's all right.
in the process of time here, since we have to be out of here by 6:20 this evening, I will take this up with the grant committee and we'll report for next month.
Well, then I won't have a
Yeah,
grant
don't.
for the next
No.
meeting. So that's what we talked about, you and I before. Just give me something and.
Yep.
Okay?
Where's the grant that we did vote on, though? I mean, that's the other, not saying that to you, Sal, but I'm saying, you know, shouldn't we be putting that one up? The grant that we actually did vote on and that passed and that we discussed and passed? That's the grant that we should be putting in front of the council, because we discussed that and passed it as a commission.
We'll take a look at that as well.
Yeah.
Moving forward to new business, The late fall tree planting, this is our second round of planting for the fall. The tree planting committee has brought forward 10 trees in 4 locations throughout the borough. Continuing our planting of trees along Mountain Way, on the fence by the borough school, 3 linden trees. The corner of Grannis Avenue and Mountain Way, 3 Norwood spruces, 6 to 7 feet tall. Simon's Park, 3 trees, 2 along the fence on Mountain Way and 1 by the playground, and then a residential tree at 5 Beach Drive. So this is 10 trees in total. No letters are required to the homeowners since just 1 is a homeowner tree, and they are aware of the thing. So it is 10 trees. So I'd like to have a motion to move, that we move forward with the planting so these could get into the ground ASAP.
I'll move it.
Second. Gonna get your tree by the playground.
I know, I saw they put that in there for me.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Voice
Aye.
vote, motion approved.
I tried to put as many in, you know, in
Well,
the-
we have little kids, so we know how hot
Yeah.
the slides get, you know,
Yeah.
so it's not,
Yeah.
Are they all gonna be $3.95,
Correct,
even the spruce, the 60?
yes.
Okay.
Can I just say one thing, because I also went to the Shade Tree Conference, and one of the things I learned there applies to this planting. And please understand that, again, this is not a criticism, because I oversaw planting many times and did not think about this either, but I just learned it. So when they, and Dave, please correct me if I'm wrong, but when they take the trees out of the ground, or if they're bald, the machine squeezes the dirt on the tree, and it pushes the dirt collar up the trunk of the tree. And so when you go to plant it, it's oftentimes the case that the tree gets planted too deep, because it's supposed to be planted level with the ground so that you can see the root flare. And I tried to look up why this is, and there's a lot of different reasons, but one study I said saw that at least for cherry trees, the failure rate was like 30% higher if they were planted too deep. Seems like it matters the species. Maple trees, it didn't seem to make, at least in this one study, as much of a difference. My point being that I think when Serbo plants them, we should look, if we should have someone there if we can. I saw you out, Frank, one day spray painting, so I know you do a lot of work with this. If you want me to come out, I'm not trying to get in your business, but
No,
if you
that's
need
okay.
coverage, I'm happy to do it. But just to go out and say something to them about, hey, you gotta do this right. And this isn't even to pick on Serbo, because the study I saw said that 93% of nurseries do this incorrectly. In the study that I forget it was which university it was did. So just something to keep in mind to try and use our tax dollars wisely. I know we have a guarantee on these, but maybe just something to keep in mind next time, because I know some of them were planted too deep, but the ones I saw probably were too, so it's not a criticism, it's just, as we educate ourselves, I think this is something we should be
Yep.
on the lookout.
That's a lot of force,
I
when they
think-
spade.
I'll be honest with you, I think he did a super job, and I don't think they're too deep. And I don't know of any trees that have failed, honest to God, since I've been on the commission.
Dave, what's your thought about that? Is that like something that's pretty common? I don't know about this,
No,
which
it
is why
is-
I'm asking.
To Rob's point, it's very common, unfortunately. Yeah, when you go to the nursery, between the mechanicals and then the backfill, so what you're looking for, you don't want the tree to look like a telephone pole going into the ground. You want to have a flare.
So that's why they kind of do that like dome around the edges, like
Well, the dome is really for moisture,
water, okay.
to hold the moisture in. But the problem is, if there's too much soil where the root flare is, and then you have 3-4 inches of mulch on it, so now you're creating this heat exchange. And so you're creating decay, you're creating insect activity along the main trunk, and you're opening up an area for wound, for rot down the long term. So ideally, when they plant, it's almost a matter of 2 seconds. Just take a hand, just expose that root flare, pull back a little bit, and so you're not adding 6 inches of mulch on top of extra soil, and it should be fine.
So you're saying, just so that I understand, when I look at these, so if you had, let's say, like the circle of the tree, right? So there's the mulch that kind of comes up, so you just want some more air to get into like the base of the trunk?
Well, no, the problem is the moisture is on the trunk of the tree. You have that soil and then the mulch basically on the trunk of the tree. So that's creating moisture, which is creating insects and creating disease issues A lot of times you'll see it under the mulch, you'll pull it back.
And there's bugs.
If you ever see when they put like they over mulch, it looks like a volcano, that's like a major problem with
Okay,
landscapers throughout. I don't know why they feel every year they have to put 4 inches of mulch on a tree. So you're creating that big volcano, which is not helping anybody by doing that.
Is the flares, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, defined by like the first root that comes out? Most trees flare out, but not all species do, but, so really what you're trying to look for is where the root, the trunk stops and the root starts.
Yeah, so when you pull back that top of the ball, you should be able to see the roots there. I mean, if you have to dig down, then there's an issue, there's too much soil. So a lot of times, they're not necessarily planted too deep, there might be excess soil on top. So it's, I don't know if I'm making sense. So you really have to determine where that flare, where that root starts is.
and that's just extra dirt, that's like just because of the hole itself, or what they're, when they kind of.
When they
Squeeze
compact
back.
it,
Oh,
because
okay.
they use a mechanical spade, and then they put a wire basket on a lot of them to hold the ball in tight. So what happens, squeezes and where's it go?
Comes up, okay.
And, you know, and a lot of times, these trees are dug well in advance.
And this was called, what's the term you used?
For which? Oh,
The
the root flare?
Root flare.
Yes, that's a nice.
flare?
Root flare, okay, I got
So,
interested about this.
yeah,
What is
so
it-
we've gone around and with a lot of trees that haven't been planted properly, especially like maples, where the roots start growing around the trunk and actually going with an air tool.
That's what I was gonna say, that, Frank, to your point, like, they don't always fail right away, but it shortens the life, because they have these like, what are they, girdling roots?
It is, and what happens, they'll start to, especially if you see stuff growing in containers, it's an issue also, where the roots actually wrap the trunk of the tree instead of going out. You know, so it depends on the species, depending on how it was dug, you have a lot of issues, so, you know.
Usually you have girdling and by roots, if you have a small area like a sidewalk and a curb and you stick it in there, right? That's what
Sometimes, yeah, where it hits the curb, it has nowhere for it
That
to
keeps
go.
me in business, Frank, please.
You know those
So
amazing.
just something to think about or check
Yeah,
on
no,
or look for,
absolutely.
that's all I was suggesting.
Somebody reward the councilman coming here, huh?
On Glenbrook Road, all the sidewalks.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Wrong-
Well, I love it.
wrong species.
Great. That would end our meeting. I kept in line with the time that I was asked to keep in line with, as there's another meeting coming in. So I would please like a motion to end this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved, voice vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Everybody.
Same.
Yeah, I know.
Hard to believe.